In celebration of Black History Month, ICMA is honoring the Black local government leaders who continue to make this profession great. Joining us for today's Member Spotlight is David Ellis, County Manager of Wake County, North Carolina, Board Member of the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, ICMA Credentialed Manager, and graduate of the Harvard Kennedy School Senior Executives in State and Local Government Program. Thanks so much for joining us today, David.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So glad to have you. And as I touched on in the intro, you have quite the distinguished resume. So I imagine narrowing this down will be a bit of a challenge, but can you share what the highlight of your career has been thus far?
Sure. I was appointed in February of 18 as manager. And one of my first moves was taking our housing division out of human services and really expanding it into a department. And with that department, they developed a 20-year plan. And thus far, they are 2.5 years ahead of where they were supposed to be. And with the focus on housing affordability, especially now, they were able to do some things during COVID that without having a housing department, we would have never been able to do. And so again, it's just that ability of getting people together and focusing on a common vision.
That sounds like an amazing undertaking, and just amazing that you were able to get the community really come together during COVID and then take that housing division to the next level and really create some positive changes in your community. And on the other hand, can you describe a challenge you faced in your career and how you were able to overcome it?
My background is in social work, right? And so when I had the opportunity to participate in a senior executive internship program in Fairfax County, I had kind of built up in my mind that I couldn't be a manager because I didn't come up through the finance or budget route that many folks do. But one of the things I realized while I was working with those different people, they all had different backgrounds, right? But their similarity was their leadership. They were able to provide leadership and galvanize people to focus on a common goal or goals. And so once I realized that I was actually impeding my own ability to move up into a manager position because I had this doubt in the back of my mind. And so once I was able to remove that doubt, I was able to really focus and bring my whole authentic self to the position as a manager.
That's great, and so important not to pigeonhole yourself just in that one role and recognize that your role and your background is integral in being able to be that authentic leader. Moving forward, to give a bit of context to our viewers, the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, or NFBPA, is the principal and most progressive organization dedicated to the advancement of Black public leadership in state and local governments. David, given your position as a board member of NFBPA, what tools and resources do you find most helpful in your work with this organization?
So I would say when you look at NFBPA's executive leadership program, that to me is one of the preeminent leadership programs in the country. It prepares folks to move on from positions that they're currently in into leadership programs. And the beauty of the program, it really combines an academic focus as well as an on the ground working on problems in various communities. And so it's one of the few programs I think that really brings those two together. The NFBPA has been successful in mentoring and getting folks into that leadership position. And I always like to remind folks, there's a gentleman, Dr. Calvin Jameson, who is, I believe he's the board president now. And years ago, he met me and he pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, I hear you want to be a manager." He said, "I looked at your bio. Here are the areas that I believe you need to strengthen." Now, he just did that out of the blue. He did just the first time he had met me. And his advice has stuck with me. And it really allowed me to kind of go back and focus on those areas and strengthen those areas. So you have people there who have been managers, who are current managers, and who are willing to really share their expertise and their stories. And it's just a tremendous organization that I think sometimes we forget about, but it really needs to be at the forefront, not just during Black History Month, but throughout the year.
Important this month, but every month moving forward, because just that network, I imagine, is so invaluable to have. Can you share some advice for people of color who are looking to pursue a career in local government?
Yes, definitely. So I think the first thing is to develop a career plan. And check on that career plan every 3 years to see where you are, identify what skills or activities that you should be working on. I also think it's important to identify a mentor or mentors who are in positions where you aspire to be in the future, and really sit back, have conversations with them, learn from them. I think it's important to join organizations like ICMA and NFBPA. And I will say, not just join them, but become active in those organizations. When we were in leadership, ICMA encouraged me to get active in ICMA and NFBPA. And to this day, it's been one of the best things that I do. I'm not just a member, I can try to contribute on a regular basis. I also think there are a number of leadership programs out there, ELT, Leadership ICMA, the Harvard Kennedy School. I really would encourage people to look at those as opportunities to really grow, develop their leadership skills. There's scholarship programs and other things out there for folks. So I would just encourage people to take advantage of those programs.
Those are all great pieces of advice for everyone looking to pursue or further their career in local government. David, it was such a pleasure to get to hear more about your story and of the impact you're making on this profession. You are truly going above and beyond in your role, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to share with us today.
Well, and thank you for reaching out to me. And whatever I can do to help ICMA, please reach out. I really believe in the organization, and I think the organization has a bright future, especially under Mark Ide.
You can check out the NFBPA website for more information on the work they're doing, and to view more member spotlights, be sure to subscribe to our channel.